What's up, everybody? It's the Alex Leak and Friends NBA podcast, back for another week. I'm your host, Alex Leak. We got Dustin back on the show. What's up, Dustin?
Hey, what's up? Thanks for having me.
Yeah, good to have you back on. Getting out of, we got the NBA Finals going on right now. Just finished up Game 4 on Friday night, and Game 5 right around the corner tomorrow night, Monday night. And so we figured we'd get an episode out, talk NBA Finals. I mean, we had Pavi on to preview it. How has, in your mind, Dustin, how has the series gone compared to how you thought it would go? Is it different, or is it about what you thought?
Well, I'm going to be honest, Alex. The Boston Celtics surprised me a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I thought, I thought it would go 5 or 6, Warriors up 3-1 by now, but Boston came to fight, and they're in the series, and we got a hell of a finals.
I think the one thing that's the most clear is that Boston's defense is on another level. Like, they're making – a lot of people are talking about how Draymond hasn't showed up and how Clay is struggling, but I think you can attribute a lot of that to the Celtics defense, can't you?
Yes, absolutely. And, there are two people in particular, man. You got to give it to Al Horford. He's playing his tail off. And so, Marcus Smart. You can't expect to hold Curry every single game, and he's doing what he
Yeah.
can.
I just saw a stat on Twitter. It's like the shooting percentage with the Celtics defense, and it's like Steph Curry is doing so much better than KD and all these guys earlier in the series, Giannis, guys like that. So, I mean, Curry is playing pretty well against a very tough defense. And Horford's been great. I think Horford's been the biggest surprise, really, all playoffs, is that he's playing such good defense at his age.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, he continues to, shock me every single finals game. So
Yeah. And, I mean, I'm just looking back at, like, his defense against the Nets and KD when KD would drive, or Kyrie, and then his defense against Giannis when he would drive, their defense against Butler, and now against the Warriors. So, credit to the Celtics defense. That's the reason they're in the finals and win as far as they have. Now, when the Celtics went up 1-0 in this series, they stole home court. The Warriors evened it up, but then they go to Boston. They're up 2-1, so Game 4 was a huge game, an opportunity for the Celtics to go up 3-1 and really take a stranglehold on the series. But they couldn't do it. Steph Curry goes for a career night with 43 points and 10 rebounds, playing through an ankle injury. Do you think the Celtics are going to look back on Game 4 as a major missed opportunity and maybe the reason they lose the series?
Well, I mean, you'd have to think so. Absolutely. I mean, if you go 3-1 right now, that's not nearly, putting the dagger in the heart of the Warriors, but it pretty much is close.
Yeah.
And maybe the Warriors go back to San Francisco and steal one, and, eventually you'd have Game 6 at Boston. But this one was a huge win for the Warriors more than it was, a bad loss for the Boston Celtics.
Yeah, a game the Warriors had to have. Like I said, Curry playing on an injured ankle, Draymond not being himself, Clay struggling with his shot, and you got two big performances, one from Steph, who was, superstar, I mean, as good as it gets, 43 and 10, and a must-win in the TD Garden, but not to be overshadowed or dismissed, Andrew Wiggins with 17 and 16 rebounds, along with his defense on Tatum. And if you look, he's done an excellent job on Jason Tatum the whole series.
Yeah, absolutely. He has. Question for you is, what is it, do you think, that is making Draymond not play to his full potential? Is he afraid of fouling out? Or
no, I think it has a lot to do with Al Horford. and Robert Williams too. Both of them are great defenders. And, we knew Robert Williams was a damn good defender. I don't think we knew how good of a defender Horford is and has become. And with his length, his wingspan, his good footwork, his boxing out, and just all effort. Draymond isn't like a scorer to begin with. And then you give him some good defense. Right now, Draymond's not even looking to score. And when he does, he's got zero confidence at all. So it's a lack of confidence, but I think it also comes from facing damn good defenders,
Yeah, I agree with that, and then Clay has to step up. Like, he's supposed to be superstar number 2 when it comes to this team. He's got to show up.
But what do you think about this? I mean, I'm starting to believe, I don't know if we're going to get this type of performance from Curry the rest of the finals, but what if the Warriors win despite Draymond almost being a no-show and Clay not being himself? I mean, there's a lot of talk about Curry doesn't have a finals MVP. If the Warriors win, I think you almost have to give it to Steph Curry. And he's really proving and shutting up a lot of the doubters in this series against a very good defense.
Absolutely. Curry's angry. You can see it. He's angry. He's tired of hearing, I won 2 championships because of Kevin Durant, and I don't have finals MVP, and I'm not good enough to do it by myself.
Yeah, it's
Curry right now.
Yeah, it's nice to see because we all remember 2015 when Iguodala won Finals MVP, and it was apparent that Steph probably wasn't going to win it that year. It was obvious Durant was going to win it in 17 and 18, and in 2016 Steph didn't step up the way they needed him to as well. So it's nice to see this out of Steph, playing angry and proving a lot of people wrong. All the talking heads are trying to bury Steph going into Game 4. A lot of people were thinking this series was over. Boston was going to win it in 5, or 6.
Yeah.
That was Curry's second career 40-point NBA Finals game, and
Wow.
So pretty impressive. They tie the series at 2-2. So now home court is back with the Warriors. There's potentially 3 games left, 2 of them in Golden State. I think it's over in 6. That's my prediction. I'm riding with the Warriors. That was my prediction going into the finals. And I think they win Game 5 tomorrow night. And then we'll see if Boston can force a Game 7 or not. What chances do you give Boston of winning Game 5 tomorrow night in Golden State, in San Francisco?
Well, honestly, my chances rely on whether Jason Tatum doesn't go cold during the game, because, we've seen in this series where he's not, he has his moments where he disappears.
That's a great point. I'm glad you brought that up. This is Jason Tatum. He's still pretty young. This is his first career finals. He's shooting 34%, which is the lowest for a 20-plus shot attempt guy in NBA Finals history. In Game 3, he had 23 and 11, but he shot 8 for 23 and a game-high 6 turnovers. I had, Pavi expressed his concern about Jason Tatum going into the finals. I haven't believed in Boston in the past because of Jason Tatum. Is he going to have to wear a lot of this blame if the Celtics don't win the championship?
I would think he would, because he's their best player.
Yeah.
The best players always get the complaints, but, it's crazy to me, listening to others and sitting there saying how before this series started, they had Jason Tatum on a higher pedestal than Steph Curry. That's what was getting me.
Well, that's that recency bias stuff, And Tatum was playing well earlier in the playoffs, but, the finals are a different animal. I say that all the time, and This is why I believe so strongly in the Warriors, because they've got that championship DNA. You know, they got 3 rings together. It's the same core. They know how to get it done. And I don't know that Tatum and the Celtics, Jaylen Brown, this is Al Horford's first finals appearance. So I don't know that the Celtics have it. Ime Udoka's a rookie head coach. Steve Kerr's got how many championships? Like 8? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they just got that experience and team chemistry. So, you know, it's easy for me to ride with the Warriors, but yeah, Tatum's gonna have to take a lot of the blame. As of right now, he's averaging the exact same as Jaylen Brown, like 23 points per game, and that to me just shows that Jaylen Brown is a solid number 2 option doing his thing. You just expect more out of Tatum as the number 1 option, and like 30 points per game, and he's not doing it. And I think it's pretty safe to say that we saw Jimmy Butler was in a very similar position when the Heat played the Lakers in the bubble in 2020, and Jimmy Butler played a lot better than this, and there's similar questions to Jimmy Butler as there are Jason Tatum.
Yeah, I mean, but Butler's the better player, obviously.
Yeah, it's like, but that's not what the national media was saying going into this.
Yeah, well, I don't want to go into all that national media stuff, but yeah, I mean, they just sometimes overhype a player, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, Butler's the better defender, and I think he's got more dog in him. He's going to go get you more buckets. He's going to get to the free throw line. Pavi from Hoops and Brews was saying, he's like, Tatum disappears for stretches in a game. It's game 4 of the finals. You can't just be disappearing for stretches. And that's what Tatum did. And it allowed, I mean, you remember the Celtics were up. How many points were the Celtics up? They were up double digits on Golden State in this game, in game 4.
Yeah.
So, you got a team down. You got to step on their neck. You got to put them away. Jason Tatum, wearing that 24 wristband, trying to be like Kobe. What would Kobe have done? Kobe would have put the Warriors down 3-1, and he would have carried his team. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. I mean, some of the shots were off pretty badly too.
Well, it's pressure. Finals pressure is different. So, also, Jason Tatum has recorded 91 turnovers in these playoffs so far. He's 4 away from passing LeBron James for the all-time record for turnovers in a single playoff run.
Wow, that's 91 is a lot of turnovers.
Yeah, LeBron had 95, and Tatum's trying to pass that. And with at least 2 games left, I think it's pretty likely he passes them.
Yeah, well, if he keeps it up, then Boston definitely won't win the series.
And I think that's very damning because with LeBron, he's a pass first. He's trying to play that Magic Johnson, that point forward role. Jason Tatum's not the point forward. He shouldn't be playing point. You're the scorer. You know what I mean?
I agree. And I think that, that's really the only option Boston has right now at the moment.
Yeah, and their defense is great. The biggest thing that's killing the Celtics is turnovers, 100%. Some shot selection, but mostly it's turnovers, and it's allowing the Warriors to get into transition. If the Celtics protect the ball and force the Warriors to play a half-court game, advantage Celtics all game. But they're turning the ball over, allowing the Warriors to get in transition on fast breaks, and then it's wide open threes and layups. You know what I mean? And that's a great recipe for Golden State.
Absolutely. And then on top of that, you have to be up by 20 if you expect to beat the Warriors.
Yeah, because you know they're going to go on a run. You have to, like I said, put your foot on their neck, keep the lead up, and don't let Steph get going. But he's been able to get going in the series. Like you said, what's he averaging? Like over 30 per game?
Yeah.
What did I, 34 points per game in the finals at this moment. 34.
That has to be top 5 all time somewhere.
Yep. And you asked me this weekend, you said who has the most? Do you remember what I showed you?
Yeah, it was Michael Jordan.
How many? How many points per game?
If I can remember, I think it was like 41.
Yep, 41 points per game in the 1993 finals against. And he was pissed off because he was going up against Charles Barkley, who had just won MVP. And in Jordan's mind, Barkley had stolen his MVP award. So Jordan went in there fired up, ready to kick Barkley's ass.
That's wild.
Yep. And that was it took home the three-peat by beating Phoenix 3 in a row. The Celtics are 7-0 in the playoffs following the loss, but they're going to have to do it on the road in Golden State. They did it in Game 1. If the Celtics can steal Game 5 and then have Game 6 at home, that sets them up perfectly to win a championship and not even have a Game 7. But they need a road win, and Golden State knows that. Golden State can't relax now that it's 2-2 and bank on their home court. They need to come out ready to go. They cannot lose Game 5 at home.
Yeah, see, that's where, to me, either way, I mean, I think if Boston loses in Golden State, it's a wrap to me. And if Golden State loses in San Francisco, Boston's going to take the series.
Yeah, and we're at that point in the year where every game is such a dramatic swing in momentum. Like we just said, if Boston had won, they'd be up 3-1. Golden State steals it. Now we're 2-2. Game 5 is just as important. And I believe the pressure is on Golden State because you have to take care of business at home, go up 3-2, put the pressure on Boston to win Game 6, and then you got Game 7 in your pocket at home. But if you lose Game 5 at home, you're in trouble. Then you got to go. I mean, that's what was so special about Curry's performance was that it happened on the road in the Garden. And, ABC and the national media was hyping up that Boston crowd so much in Game 3 and how loud they were. And going into Game 4, that's such a special performance by Steph. That was a lot of fun to watch on Friday night.
Absolutely. And that performance cannot be ever, be forgotten about or anything, man. You went into one of the most iconic venues in NBA history with in the playoffs in the NBA Finals and did what you had to do to help your team win.
Yeah, and like a must win. And so, but the thing is, he needs to bring that same game in Game 5. Clay needs to step up. Draymond needs to play better. Looney, all the guys. Gary Payton. The Warriors are going to have to bring it and go up 3-2. If they do, then they're in a good spot. So, yeah, I'm sticking with the Warriors in 6. I think they win Game 5 and maybe put it away in 6. It wouldn't surprise me if Boston wins Game 6 and forces a Game 7. And so this is my question to you. Let's say we get a Game 7. Do you remember what the big storyline was when the Warriors lost in Game 7 to the Cavs?
Well, yeah, they gave up a 3-1 lead.
That, yes, and in Game 7, late, in crunch time, nobody could hit a bucket. Steph couldn't hit. Clay couldn't hit. Iguodala couldn't hit. No one could hit a shot. LeBron couldn't hit. Who was the guy who ended up hitting the big shot? Kyrie Irving. And because of that collapse, the Warriors said, we need to go get a closer. We need to go get a guy who can hit the biggest shots in the biggest pressure situations. So they go get Kevin Durant, and we saw it in both those series, 2017, 2018, big threes at the end of big pivotal games that put those series away.
That's my thing is with Clay struggling, and I know he's coming off some pretty bad injuries, but
Yeah.
somebody else has got to step up. I know Wiggins is playing well, but maybe from somebody that's unexpected, like a Jordan Poole or an Otto Porter.
Yep. Jordan Poole needs to step up for sure. Otto Porter Wiggins is capable of hitting a big shot. But at the end of the day, bro, if he wants to do a lot for his legacy, if he wants to win this championship, win Finals MVP, put his name up there with LeBron and Kobe and Jordan and these guys, Steph needs to continue to do this. Go for 40 plus again, put this team away, and be the guy. I mean, Curry can hit. He's got the ability to hit any shot. You agree?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So come up big and carry your team. Clay's not 100% back. Draymond's struggling. It's all up on Curry, and he's going up against the Defensive Player of the Year, Marcus Smart. This is a lot of fun, this finals, to watch. I mean, storylines everywhere, drama everywhere, and every game is so pivotal.
Yeah, I mean, the thing about it is, man, it's it's the young Celtics trying to prove that they are where they belong,
Yeah.
in the heights of the NBA, not the NBA world, and then you got a point guard in Steph Curry who's trying to prove something.
Yep. He's been hearing the noise for years, and a lot of the noise around you can't win without Kevin Durant. You need someone to close big games for you. Stuff like that. So he stepped up big in Game 4. It was a lot of fun to see Curry, very animated, very pissed off, and drop 40 and 10 in the Garden. That was amazing, and we're not going to forget that game for a long time. But he's got to back it up with another big Game 5 tomorrow night. So what's your prediction? How do you think Game 5 goes? You got Golden State taking care of business?
Yes, I do. Yep. I think it's going to be close into the fourth quarter, and then I just think that, Curry becomes Magic Curry again, and he just puts them away.
Yeah. I tend to agree. Do you think it goes 7 games?
If the Warriors win tomorrow night, it's over in 6.
Yeah. So you don't think it goes 7 games either way, because if Boston wins, then it's probably over in 6 as well.
Yeah, because Game 6 with a 3-2 lead in the Garden, bro, that roof wouldn't even be there.
Yep. Yeah. I think I picked Warriors in 6 to begin with, but so I'm going to stick with that. But I'm secretly kind of hoping it goes 7 because it's been so much fun. It's been such a great series, and once it's over, we don't get basketball for a while. So. I'm secretly hoping. I think Boston can win in Game 6 and force a Game 7, but the pressure's on Golden State. You cannot lose at home in Game 5, so they better step it up. Can Curry go 40 and 10 again? I don't know if he can. So we need to see Clay, Wiggins, Poole. Jordan Poole really needs to step up and have a good impact game. Draymond needs to play much better and be impactful,
Yeah, I agree. And let me say this. The number one, I'm not going to say the number one issue, but we talked about it Friday night while analyzing and watching the game.
Mm-hmm.
That offensive rebounding, Boston killing them in boards.
Well, that's the thing, and that's what Golden State, they need Draymond to be out of foul trouble, on the court and boxing out and getting rebounds, and they need Looney, and they need Porter. They need all hands on deck, because naturally Boston is gonna, naturally probably win an advantage in the rebounds. So Golden State needs to hang on that, and then for Boston, they have to focus on not turning the ball over. Because, like I said, the turnovers turn into transition points, and those are easy buckets for Golden State. Early on in Game 4, no one was hitting the three. They had wide open looks. Clay was missing. Steph was missing. Wiggins was missing. And then they finally got some turnovers, got going into the game, and got some rhythm, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
And then you're in trouble. So I can't wait for Game 5, Monday night, tomorrow night. My pick is Warriors. Your pick is Warriors. We'll see if Jason Tatum and the Celtics can prove us wrong and go up 3-2. But I'm going to stick with the Warriors, that championship DNA, and let's see if Steph can bring home his first ever Finals MVP and, get his fourth championship. How do you feel about, like, LeBron fans who are, like, rooting? There's, like, Laker fans. This is how you know if you're a real Laker fan, is if you're rooting for the Celtics because you don't want Steph to get his fourth ring. You're not a Lakers fan. You're a LeBron fan. Real Laker fans would never root for the Celtics to get another championship.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm a Bulls fan, and I'm never rooting for Boston. I don't care who they're playing.
Yeah, rooting for the Knicks or whoever, or the Pistons. Like, you can't root for your rival like that.
Yeah, and, I just think LeBron fans are just getting a little worried that if Curry gets forward, the Warriors team isn't going nowhere.
Oh, I agree. If they win this year, I mean, how are they not the favorites next year? Plus, they're getting Wiseman back soon, and Wiseman's a beast.
Yeah, and it's exciting free agency. They could get another,
Yeah.
averages 16, 17 a game, and then the whole league is in trouble. I mean, it's...
Yep. Absolutely. So we'll see if they can finish it off. Can't wait for Game 6. Thanks for Game 5 and 6. Thanks for coming on, Dustin. Good stuff as always.
Yeah, thanks for having me. That was awesome.
Yep. And don't forget to like, subscribe, leave a comment. We'll keep these episodes coming out. Make sure and stay tuned after the finals because we're going to have a big former player interview, a former finals MVP, and a guy very connected with the Boston Celtics. So whether the Celtics win the championship or not, you're going to want to see that interview because that's going to be a lot of fun and get his take on the finals and his time in the league. So can't wait for that. I appreciate all the support, guys. Have a great week, and peace out.